Howdy, everybody. So today, since it seems like everybody is getting chickens, I thought I'd read a piece from Coop, which, by the way, this is the hardcover version. We have both the hardcover version and the paperback version and the audiobook version available at sneezingcow.com. But the hardcover is on sale for the exact same price as the paperback. So if you're frugal. Anyways, this is a book about raising chickens, but this little section right here is not about chickens at all. This is a piece about a guinea pig, and I do a version of this live. The facts stay the same, but the presentation is a little different. So it's going to be interesting for me to read this and see how it matches up with what I do live. My daughter is weeping in the Timothy. She is a sad sight, with a sparse handful of stems dangling from one hand, grass clippers dangling from the other, head tipped back as she beseeches the sky. From my perspective, framed by the window over the kitchen sink, what we have here is a scene composed by Andrew Wyeth and retouched by Edvard Munch. The girl is weeping in part because I am a cheapskate. Among the trove of supplies and accessories provided by Aunt Barbara when we took possession of a guinea pig back in January, so my daughter always wanted a horse, and we were living in the village of New Auburn, and I told her, she was a good kid, so I said, well, when we move to the country, you can get a guinea pig. And then there's another part of the story that I tell it on, might as well turn this into a sales pitch. The Clodhopper monologues, which is also available. It's a live recording of some of my humor pieces. This whole live version of the guinea pig piece is on there. And I explain how Aunt Barbara got us the guinea pig, which is pretty fascinating and hilarious. Anyway, Aunt Barbara got us this guinea pig and a whole bunch of toys. And among the trove of supplies and accessories provided by Aunt Barbara when we took possession of the guinea pig back in January was a neatly sealed plastic bag of prime Timothy hay. Every day when Amy replenished his tiny hay rack, the creature tore into it eagerly, sometimes whistling with delight at the first sound of crinkling plastic. When the original bag was nearly depleted, I stopped by a local pet food store for another. Wanting to maintain the standards of quality established by Aunt Barbara, I searched the racks until I found the exact same brand of Timothy and grabbed a 12-ounce packet. I've cut and stacked a lot of Timothy in my day, and while carrying the bag to the checkout, I was admiring the quality of the product, a weedless sheaf of fat leaf stalks all dried to a uniform pale green. Really top shelf stuff. Then the woman at the register swiped it across the barcode reader, and when that price popped up, I suddenly understood what was making that guinea pig whistle. I made a very similar noise, although it quickly tapered off to a wheeze. Numerals are not my thing, but sometimes one must quantify astonishment. Beginning with a generous interpretation of current Midwestern market prices as provided by the county extension agent's website, the finest prime grade hay will run you somewhere in the neighborhood of $175 a ton. That 12-ounce packet of guinea pig hay rang up at $6.98. Rounding down, that's 58 cents an ounce. Tappity tap, there are 32,000 ounces in a ton, times 0.58 equals... The stuff I was carrying across the parking lot to the van cost $18,560 a ton. Next time I rent an armored hay wagon, I remember thinking as I scanned the lot for grass bandits. I briefly considered selling the guinea pig and all his toys, renting a safe deposit box with the proceeds, and stuffing it with hay that I would then roll over into an individual retirement account. Instead, I crawled into the van, locked the doors, took my cell phone in trembling hands, and called my father. Never mind the ding. It's going to ding again in a second. Having recently heard my father apologetically report that he was selling organic horse hay for upwards of $120 a ton, I wanted to tell him these horse people are pikers. Guinea pig hay is where it's at. Sell everything, I told him, and get yourself a miniature baler. Before I drove home, I secreted the Timothy beneath the spare tire and conspicuously placed my open wallet on the dashboard so that, should I encounter highwaymen, they would go for the wallet first. Tell Mr. Guinea to enjoy this, I said, as I handed the bag to Amy. "That'll be the last one." She looked at me quizzically. Because the guinea pig is serving as training wheels for a future alleged horse, I thought it might be helpful to explain my reasoning through parallels drawn from the equine world. The finest horse hay in the land cost $175 a ton. I was in full royal declarative mode. The stuff we're feeding that guinea pig cost $18,560 a ton. 7 years old, and she hesitated perhaps 2 nanoseconds to read the seams on the ball before smacking it straight back to the pitcher. "So," she said, "we should get a horse." Yeah, so it's fun to read that in the original form and then compare it to how it's evolved in the live telling. As I said, the facts don't change. I might occasionally get the numbers mixed up live, but the facts don't change. But the presentation and the whole setup with Aunt Barbara and the horse, I know, is more comprehensive and more detailed in Clodhopper Monologues version. But that little girl's 20 years old now, and we never did get a horse. I get asked that all the time. What happened is her grandma had to move away and felt guilty, so grandma paid for horse riding lessons. It was the best of both worlds. I didn't have to get the horse, and I didn't have to pay for the horse riding lessons. All righty. I hope you're all doing all right there. Take care of each other. Forward.